Greetings to you all, wherever you are, at home or abroad. You're now tuned into TalkSense Media, your voice of reason in the noise. Here we bring you the news that matters to you. Straight talk, clear facts, and honest reasoning, because you deserve to understand what's really going on. Whether it's headlines or what's happening on the streets, if it affects you or your community, we break it down and we talk sense. So let's get into today's story. So the General Secretary of the Opposition People's National Party, Dr. Dayton Campbell, had this to say while addressing comrades in Hanover recently. I see that them have some problems with me, General, and I understand the discomfort that Labourites have. I understand it because Labourites know that Mark Golding doesn't come to scrape. Them know he made his money already and come to serve, so they can't mix him up in a corruption. And if you listen closely, you'll hear the subtle shots being fired, not just at the Prime Minister, but at the entire ongoing saga with the Integrity Commission. But here's the thing, instead of seeking truth, the opposition seems more focused on using doubt and confusion to score points, hoping that Jamaicans don't fully understand what's really happening. So let's clear the air, let's talk sense. Because while others try to manipulate you by not sharing with you the realness about what's happening, I'm going to break it all down for you, fact by fact, step by step, so you can get a better understanding for yourself. So sit back and listen carefully, like, comment, and share, because today we're helping you Jamaicans at home and abroad to understand what's really going on behind the scene with this long-awaited certification of Prime Minister's Andrew Holness's declarations. So there's a belief that Andrew Holness will be certified soon. Well, at least that's the word in some circles. And others agree it's the most likely outcome. But why now, after years of silence, deep investigations and internal scrutiny? What's really going on behind closed doors at the Integrity Commission? Is this certification about clearing the Prime Minister's name or protecting the Commission's own integrity? Now here's the thing. For the past few years, the Integrity Commission has kept the Prime Minister's statutory declarations, his official reports on wealth, assets and income under a microscope. They question whether Andrew Holness benefited from illicit enrichment. So in simple terms, did he get rich in ways that he could not explain on paper? So here's a breakdown of what the Integrity Commission did. They brought in an international forensic auditor, someone who got paid to use a fine-teeth comb to go through every single dollar, every single cent and every transaction. This was done in an attempt to see if they could find something illegal or suspicious. Now, apparently nothing suspicious was found, and it seems as if the Integrity Commission were not satisfied with their own independent expert, so they then referred the matter to the Financial Investigations Division, FID, and also the Tax Administration of Jamaica. For over 6 months, they reviewed over 3,600 transactions, 28 bank accounts, and more than 80 witness statements. And after that, silence. They chose not to publish the findings to the public. But Dayton Campbell and the PNP will not tell its supporters nor Jamaica that because they want the people to believe that something fishy is going on with the Prime Minister. And this is where it gets serious, because in any fair system, if you are being investigated, especially for something as serious as corruption, you should be told what you are being accused of and you should be able to see the evidence. And that's why the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, went to the Supreme Court demanding that the Integrity Commission released the documents to his legal team, not to the public, just to his lawyers. If he is under investigation, he is entitled to due process, just like anyone else. So far, no charges have been brought, no formal findings have been published, and yet Holness's name has been dragged through the mud, based on insinuations and suspicions rather than proof. Now let's get to the part that most people are not talking about. Why the Integrity Commission might now be willing to certify the Prime Minister's declarations after so long. Some insiders believe this isn't just about completing the investigation, but it's about protecting the Commission itself from embarrassment. Because if the matter goes through the court, the minutes of their internal meetings, those records that detail who said what, who pushed for what decisions, and how those decisions were made might become exposed. And if those minutes are ever brought before the court, it could be damning. It might show that some individuals inside the the commission were acting with bias, not based on evidence, that they had agendas and possibly undermined their own organization by what they did. And that essentially would discredit the very agency meant to uphold fairness and trust in the public. So what's the likely strategy? Certify the Prime Minister, hope he drops the case, avoid public exposure by doing so, and save face. If Andrew Holness gets certified and he says be done with it, the commission avoids court. They avoid the release of those potentially damning minutes. They will protect individuals involved and they breathe a sigh of relief. That's what many believe is happening now. But ultimately, this isn't about Holness. This is about how we run our country. It's about whether our institutions act fairly and transparently, or if they can use power to damage reputations, then quietly walk away when things get uncomfortable. Because the fact of the matter is that you cannot shout corruption in public and then whisper the findings in private, especially after spending taxpayers' money on expensive investigations. Because integrity works both ways. If you hold leaders accountable, you must also hold yourself accountable. So as Jamaicans, doesn't matter whether they are PNP or JLP, we must ask, was this a fair investigation? Or was it a drawn out witch hunt? Are we witnessing justice or institutional damage control? And most of all, who watches the watchdog? If the certification comes and all signs suggest it will, the real question is, are persons mature and ethical enough to do their jobs as prescribed and without bias? Or will we continue to see more of this that creates public distrust in institutions that are to watchdogs and who are supposed to keep our officials fair and honest? So, do you think this case has been properly handled based on the series of events that happened? Drop your comment and let me know. This is TalkSense Media, your voice of reason in the noise.